This is the first time that I have broadcast a bread class, so bear with me on that. All right, so flour, water, oil, sugar, salt, yeast. That's all there is to this, okay? It's still teated. It's still teated. It's weird. Anybody who would want to watch this later is going to go, wait, what's going on over there? Let me try that. Okay, so this is, like I said, it's 5 ingredients. And this is a recipe. So the story is, when we were in Germany, I tried to make bread for the first time in Hawaii. And to say that it was edible is polite. Okay, it could have been used as a hockey puck. Oh. Anyway, so it was years again before I tried. And we were in Germany at this point, and the base chapel had one of the few rabbis in the Air Force. So across the entire Air Force, they only have about 5 or 6 rabbis in the entire Air Force at any given point. And there are some places where they actually have to travel because their area of responsibility is massive because there's only 6 of them. Well, we were lucky that at Germany we had one. And not only that, so normally when you have the base chapel, you have one room or a sanctuary and an MPR, multi-purpose room, and that's what you got, and everybody's got to share. Well, Germany is one of the few places that also has a room for the Jews and a room for the Muslims and a couple of MPRs. So it's much, much bigger. So very fortunate that we had this availability. However, there are groups stateside that will send stuff to you for the holidays and Challah. As a matter of fact, we had a group called the Challah Fairies. That's what they were called, the Challah Fairies. And they would send us bread with no preservatives and no whatnots. And if they came to us and weren't crawling on their own because they had molded and whatnot, they tasted like Play-Doh. They smelled and tasted like Play-Doh. Every once in a while we get a good one, but because of that, the ladies and we all went, let's try to figure this out. And somebody found a really good recipe, which is what we're going to use today. And we then took turns making bread. So that amount of dough that you ladies have seen, that's a half a recipe. Y'all are going to make a quarter today, okay? And if you wish to freeze it, just let me know and I'll tell you where we're going to break off, because this recipe can be frozen and it works just fine. I have removed the liquid from this recipe and replaced it with pumpkin, and it works just fine. So the dough is very forgiving. And even if it was doing what it should do, it would have been way puffy, and when I'd done that, it would have like a souffle, right? You see it on all the cartoons going, oh, my souffle fall! Yeah, that's what it should have done, okay? But yeast and bread is very temperamental to the environment and the weather. So doesn't always, but it will still do what it's supposed to do, and it'll still bake up just fine, even if it doesn't bloom so very nice. Okay. Anyway, however, but that's half a recipe. Now that will make, and I kid you not, that will make 2 foot to 18-inch loaves as big around as my arm. So that's a lot of bread. Okay. Okay? Which is why I make it for now, because we're going to eat it. But I need it for you guys to practice the braiding. Okay? And then you will make a quarter to take home, and it'll make a whole lot less than that. It'll make what I normally bring on a Friday. Okay. Which is 2 loaves, roughly about that size. Okay? About that big. Okay? Now, first and foremost, Challah, Challah. Now, it may be just one A, it may be no C on the front, it may be no H on the end. That's neither here nor there. The word is Challah. So you get guttural. Challah. And if you need to practice, it's like Challah. Now go guttural and you can get it. Okay. And here's the thing. Here's the biggest part of it. Would you get my iPad when you get a chance? I need my iPad. There are rules to, depending on who is doing it, how much flour to be able to take an offering. We're not going to get into all of that because that's legalism and that's not what the point is. Okay? But when there's to be challah, okay, so you could go to the store and you could get something they call challah. All they mean is it's braided. Okay? To be challah, it has to be blessed. And there is a blessing that goes along with it. And the second part of it is hirei zo challah. And so you take a piece off your bread as an offering to God. And then it's supposed to be burnt. Okay? Technically, this is the challah. The rest is just bread we eat. This is the challah. Okay? Hirei zo challah. This is to be separated. Okay? That's what it is. That's all it is. Okay? So when you see it in the stores and it says challah on it, know that one, it's not blessed. It's not prayed over. And two, it ain't it anyway. Okay? Now, in the old days, back when they used fire to cook, they would just throw it into the fire. Okay, we don't use fire anymore like that to cook bread in particular. You know, he's going to go put ribs on the grill, which is technically fire, but even that's not real fire. So now, I just wrap my little bit in foil and I throw it in the bottom of the oven. Because eventually, this will burn. And go to nothing. And every so often, I go into the bottom and I sweep out my oven and I have a whole bunch of these little things. So that's all it is. This is the challah. I'm going to go throw it back in my oven so I don't forget. All right. So, like I said, I have, you're going to make a quarter recipe, and I have, if you have the big bags, that's fine. I have, this is a cup, and you're going to need to put 4 cups of flour in your bowl. While you're doing that, I'm going to go get warm water to start our yeast.
Well, because I'm such a
I measured mine for you.
genius, I didn't measure mine. I just went ahead and bought the 32 ounce, which is for 8 ounces. So 4 cups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dry it out real good. If you don't, it'll stick.
And I just purchased my bowl, but I'm pretty sure when we cook it, any germ. Don't try to tell my mama. Don't try to tell
Wearing clothes you can't wash. You know?
Don't tell my mama I ain't washed it both. She would disown me. Then I dyed my hair black this morning because the gray was overtaking me. And I love my
I
gray.
have to do that every 6 weeks.
I get
my
mad.
sparkles want to show up. And
Listen, I get
them.
mad and I fuss at everybody else for dyeing their hair. But I wanted to wear my ponytail and I wore it last week. Braids were everywhere and my ponytail was jet black.
So the 4 cups, it has to be...
Yes, be level. Be level. Or as level as you can get it. So, now, yeast is a living thing. Okay? It is alive, or it's not right now alive. Right now it's hibernating. Okay? But it is a living thing.
It came from
You
the
get
front of the
flour?
other side.
Did you get flour? All right, so after when we're done here and we've cleaned up, I will send this to you. But this is 2 pages, okay? As payment, Mr. James, and he's part of my group, that's why I'm acknowledging him. But anyway, Mr. James wanted to try it with rye. He was doing gluten-free. And I was like, oh, okay, let's see how this works. I've never, you know. So anyway, as a thank you, he took my PDF photocopy 2-page thing that was a hot mess, and he typed it all up for me, all nice, and he divided the recipe into full, half, and quarter. Okay? Now, when you get this, and I can print it out for you too if you prefer paper, but when you get this, you'll get further on down here, like, okay, so it says here in a large mix mix all of these things, 8 cups of flour, well, obviously you're not using 8 cups of flour. Because all of those measurements and the rest of it go for a full recipe.
Okay.
Okay? So just ignore that part, the measurement parts later on. Go with your measurements, okay? So full, half, and whole, or quarter. So a full recipe uses 5 pounds of flour.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 5 pounds of flour, and that goes to the, you have to have so much flour and water to take the offering, because that's all of the legalistic, rabbinical, man-made baloney, okay? That's why I don't pay attention, okay? So anyway, it goes through here and it lists out explicitly what you need to do. Now, like I said, this stuff is, right now, it is asleep, okay? It's hibernating, okay? So we need to wake it up, all right? So your recipe, or for your guys' recipe, it gets a 3/4 of a tablespoon of yeast. And you can use one or two of the little packets. You know, they sell the packets. You can use those. That's perfectly okay. That is perfectly okay and valid to use. And if you don't make it very often, then I make it a whole lot more. But if you buy it in this size, once you pop the top, it goes into the fridge. Okay? That'll keep it asleep. Okay.
How long can you keep the
This one, how about this? This one expired 2 years ago and I'm still using it.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Now, like I said, this recipe is very forgiving. And as you saw, initially it wasn't very pretty and then looked much better after. The temperature and the humidity of the day that you are making it will change what this looks like. So don't base all of it on that, okay? All right, so like I said, it's asleep. So we need to wake it up. So I used part of the water measurement that you will put in your recipe here. This is just warm water. And just like any warm bath does for us ladies, you know, we're kind of feeling good after, right? Well, we need something else. What do we do when we have one of those nice bubble baths, right? What do we do? What else do we have with us? When it's picturesque.
Candles?
Candles, what else? So that's our warm. That goes with our warm. What else goes?
Music.
Music, what else?
Lights are out, down.
We drink anything? Wine. Have some fruit with us, maybe? Yeah?
Strawberries,
Yeah. All right. We gotta feed our yeast because they've been sleeping. So we gotta wake them up. What's the first thing they want to do when you wake them up in the morning? Eat. So we give them some sugar because that's basically what it comes down to, right? Again, this is part of that recipe. So, and I will show you how I do that in a second. Your recipe calls for 6 tablespoons of sugar. So I put a tablespoon in here. And you put 5 in your bowl.
I notice that you're using that. What is that?
This is raw sugar. Yeah, this is the sugar. This is raw sugar. Or you can use it doesn't matter. If you want to use white processed, go for it. Sugar is sugar. Okay? So anyway, so go ahead, 5. 5 tablespoons of sugar and pass that around. So this is gonna wake up.
I have a question. I'm a little...
Nope, you're fine.
So, in a cup is 8 ounces, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just making sure, because I put my whole bag in there because it was 32 ounces, just checking. And I saw you measured yours, so I'm making sure.
Well, this is 32 too. So you put your whole thing in there?
Because that'll be the 4.
Are you sure you put 4?
You sure?
You put 4 of those? Okay. It's no big deal. Okay. We'll make it work.
Okay.
If we discover that it's a different way, we'll make it work. All right. So what we're doing here...
5. Yes.
5. What you're doing here is waking this up, okay? When it starts to wake up, it's going to start breathing. Okay, it's going to get foamy and it's going to breathe. Okay, all right. So salt. In your recipe, you need 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Three.
Miss Erin, this is the coolest thing I think I've done all year. And I could not. I'm terrible with names.
You're good.
And I asked my baby. I said, "What is the lady's name that you work with?" She said, "You always ask me stuff, Mom."
I'm not great with names either. Will you pass this down to Miss April?
Babe.
In a minute. This still needs more time, so don't rush it. All right. So what we've done now is put all our dry ingredients together, right? Because that is one of the rules of baking, right, Miss Stephanie?
Right.
Is wet goes with wet and dry goes with dry. It's a chemistry problem.
Okay.
Kids at school hate it when I bring things to their attention. I'm like, who drives? That's physics.
One more.
And algebra.
Oh, 3.
Who cooks? That's chemistry. You know? And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, what do you think happens when you add heat to water? That's chemistry. You create, come on. And they're like, and I'm like, All right, so so now I want you to mix that together and create a well in the middle. Give it a good mix.
Okay.
And then create a well in the middle because we're going to put our liquid in. So one of the things that's different about this recipe versus others is that it uses oil in its recipe. In a couple of places, whereas other recipes do not. So go ahead and create your well in the middle. I need more water. And I'm using warm water straight from the tap. That's hot enough. It's not a big deal. All right. So.
Okay.
Yep. Please. Okay. So we're gonna put a 1/4 cup, and I'm gonna do this from eyeballing it because it's probably like Miss Stephanie. We don't need to really measure a lot of stuff anymore, right? Right.
Eyeballing it.
We're gonna eyeball it. The good thing is, like I said, this is a very forgiving recipe. All right, and then you get a cup of water. Now, again, based on the day and the humidity level and the temperature, this will change a little bit. You can always add more. It's very difficult to correct if you've added too much.
Okay.
All right. So start with the minimum. If you look on the recipe, it actually says 1 to 2 cups. Okay. The reason it says that is because you may need more. It says the same thing about the flour too. It says 4 to 5 cups. Again, depending on the day and how much water you've added, will depend on your ratios. But like I said, you can always add more. It's difficult to take away, so start with less.
Is it okay if we take pictures?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead and start a stirring.
Go ahead.
Start a stirring.
Go ahead, girl. Got this. Ooh. Yeah.
And as you're getting it mixed, you're going to start to see clumpies. Okay, and then you're going to start to add a little more water at a time, and you can pass around that pitcher there, and I'll get more as we need.
Anybody need water? You got it?
Remember though, add little bits at a time versus. And if you feel like standing up at this point, you go right on ahead, because I never sit.
Exactly.
I saw you. You were like, you were killing her. I saw her.
Just so y'all know, I cook everything at my table.
Do you really?
I have what's called a 13-year-old that has to pay her way.
I'm thinking I got flour on my legs. I'm peeling. I'm like, it's not.
That is so cute.
All right. So, keep going. And what I want you to do is take a look at your yeast. It looks kind of, you see the bubblies?
Yeah.
That's because it's breathing. Okay, and here just a second, I want you to add, if you haven't added, before you add any more of that water, I want you to add your yeast. And we're done with that, love. Because this water we know this water has to go in entirely. So wait, add your yeast first. Yeah, go ahead. Add your yeast.
Slowly or just pour?
Go for it.
Okay.
And if you need to scrape out, here's your fork.
Appreciate it.
So these I got in Australia, they had cheese in them.
Really?
Really, in Australia, they had cheese in them. And they're made of terracotta, so you can bake in them. Ooh. You can microwave in them. They're dishwasher safe. Exactly. And I was like, I'm willing to pay the $8 for this because I got dishes out of it.
Exactly.
Cheese and
win-win.
Win-win, yeah. So yeah, dump it in and then mix it up. And then if you still need water, now, if you're to the point where you're pretty close, let me know because, see, she's up. I told you, she's up now.
I think it's my little bowl.
You're good. You're fine. When you start getting it combined up and it's starting to come together, you're going to get your hands in it.
So how to...
Yeah, you're right. You're right there. We might need to give you a little extra flour, which is fine. Perfectly okay. But yeah, go ahead and let me actually. All right, I want you, give me your hand. Are your hands clean? Yes, because you washed your bowl. All right, your hands.
Okay.
Rub them together, and then I want you to get the dough off the spoon, and then you're going to get into it.
Kneading it?
You're going to start putting it together, yes, but I think you're going to need a little flour in there, so Mom's going to help you a bit there. Okay. Get you some flour in there. When you start getting it together, we are not going to add any more water. When you're almost there, we're going to add oil instead.
Okay,
because if you keep adding water, the dough becomes tough versus nice and together. So let's see what we got down here. You need some more water.
Okay.
You're getting there. You're fine. I cleaned this table up nice. So actually, okay. You're gonna need a little more water too. Okay. Might as well start getting in there with your hands. Yeah, there you go. Now the oil will actually help you keep it from getting stick to you. And then we'll start. I'll put your hands together just in case.
Okay.
All right, rub them together. Rub them together, and then get in there with your hands. You want to form one uniform ball.
More. Okay.
It should be tacky. Slightly tacky. Yep, you need more flour. All right, hold. Like I said, always add more. All right, here's some more oil. There you go.
Remind me of making biscuits.
So it should start coming together into one nice ball.
And you said I probably need to add oil instead of water?
Depends, yeah. You might be a little dry, but we'll see. Yeah, you need a little more water because we still need to get if you have little particles on the bottom, in the bottom you see the particles, then you still need to get that together.
Okay.
Hello. Hey. Here. Put in here.
It is.
That's so cute.
You want need water? Or
A little more water.
okay. It's right there.
Water's there. I hope you didn't pay too much at the Dollar General for the bowl because you broke it.
Listen.
I hope it was the dollar at the Dollar General.
I think it was like 4. So, honey.
All right. Yeah. See, there we go. We're starting to head together a little bit better. Yep. All right. Here, I'm just gonna give you a little oil. There we go. Miss Stephanie's got it over here. You're good. You can hold. You're good. You can hold. You're getting there.
Do I put too much water?
No. You need oil.
Okay.
How much?
There you go.
Ooh, so
There you go. Now you see it coming together. There you go. Yep, you're coming together too here. A little more oil in your hands. There you go. And you're pretty close. What can I do for you? Evan's house? He wants to go to Evan's house. 4 o'clock. All right. If I've told you to hold, that's because we're going to say our blessing. Okay? Come on.
That's with the man cooking over.
He's cooking my birthday dinners.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
Hey,
Happy birthday!
I saw that on Facebook and I thought, I'm like, as soon as I come, I'm gonna say happy birthday. I forgot.
All right. So as you can see here, it's not in Hebrew. I mean, it is in Hebrew, but it's transliterated, so you can read it. Okay? And the English translation. Okay. So you hold your hands over the top. And you say, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
asher kiddushanu,
Asher Kiddushanu,
b'mitzvotav,
B'mitzvotav,
v'tzivanu,
V'tzivanu,
l'chafrish,
L'chafrish,
challah.
Challah.
And then take a little piece off of it. There you go. Hirezo,
Hirezo,
challah.
Challah.
And what you said is, blessed are you, Hashem, or Lord our God, King of the universe, who has sanctified us with his commandments and commanded us to separate from the dough. All right? So go ahead and put that on the side, and I'll give you some foil here in a second. And then we are going to, as long as is everybody together and their bowls are slightly, yep, we're good. Yep, we're good. All right, I'm going to give you some damp paper towels to just put over the top. And don't bother washing your hands because we're going to come back to this.
Okay.
You put it on there?
Oh, no, pieces. I'm sorry.
Okay. Table.
I feel professional.
The oil's good for your hands. All right, for the ladies down at the end, I will take your yeast and I'll take the extra stuff, the yeast, the oil, all of the measuring spoons, all of that stuff. I'm going to take that away from the table.
Aaron, can I have an extra napkin?
Yes, ma'am. There's some right there in the middle. Or unless you want a paper towel.
No, these are fine. These were fine.
I got to you before you thought about it.
These were fine. They just were hiding from me.
You can sit now, though.
You must hurt my herniated disc in my back screaming. And then I just paid a personal trainer.
Ooh.
Waste of money because my back is gonna be burning and she's gonna be like, come on, let's go, don't stop.
So what we do now is we give it 10 minutes to kind of rest a little bit, and then we are going to knead it for 5 minutes.
There you go. Have fun with that. 5 minutes. Go ahead.
So
Don't do my
the
best.
interesting thing is that I have done this in the mixer. I have made it in the mixer. My opinion, it doesn't come out as nice.
Oh, okay.
So, you know that lovely little scripture about work for His glory and to Him and all of that. I sincerely believe that the work that goes into this actually, it puts a little love in it. It's a little love, a little work. You can work out your aggressions and you can work it all out. So we're gonna let it sit for 10 minutes, and then we're gonna knead it for 5. And I always find it easier to actually knead it or time it. Somebody is watching. I'm going to look and see who's watching.
It's Hannah.
Is Hannah?
Yeah.
Hey, Hannah!
I have
Thank you.
a question. Is that prayer that we did? Have you seen Chosen? Chosen. It's
It's a series.
a series.
What is it on?
Basically Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
I've never seen that.
What?
Have
Is
you
it
seen Chosen?
Netflix?
It's not Netflix. You have to actually have a Chosen app that you can put on your TV. Y'all, it's so good.
You
It's like-
advocated us some something.
I've seen the
It-
reviews. It's supposed to be
I
really
just
good.
got through talking this morning about how I was mad because the producers of Chosen are trying to get the funding up for the 3rd season. I've watched the first 2 seasons. They have already went into being funded for the 4th season. Put the 3rd season out. Put the 3rd season out.
Where's it? Like
Your cane's right behind you, and you
I
can
feel that.
you
You
can right
can.
through here.
Where's it?
Yeah, like location wise, is it?
I
And the
don't
light is on.
know. It looks as if though.
Is in Jerusalem?
That's what it looks like.
That's what I was
Yes,
thinking.
it does. That's what it looks like. And
Okay.
All right, so in Chosen,
they are at a feast and they're all at the table and they're doing the
blessings.
yes. And they had was Andrew the tax collector. Okay, so they had him and they finally invited him to. Like it was Chosen is like
I'll have to watch it. So you're asking, it sounded a lot like.
it did.
It does. The beginning is the beginning of almost every single prayer.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Okay.
Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe. Pretty much starts them all.
Okay.
What comes after is what changes. So what you probably heard is Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei Peri Hagafen, which would be for the wine, and Hametz for the bread.
Okay.
So that's what you've heard. But yes, that is the start of just about every one.
Okay.
And Baruch, it's also a so Hebrew, just like English, but Hebrew has a lot of root words to it.
Okay.
Okay, so Baruch, Barahu, these are all connected. They roughly get translated as blessed. However, it also means bend. So if you've ever seen Hasidic men, they say prayers and they do this. They're saying Baruch, bend the knee. So that's what they're saying is Baruch or Barahu. So at the time that they are bowing before God.
Okay.
So that's where the bending comes from. And it's a very particular way. It's not just this. It's the bend of the knee,
And then
stand up, then bow. Okay? And every time it's said, they bend the knee. That's why you see it. Or the other one you'll see a lot is a lot of this.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
A lot of
I see that a lot.
that's the rocking. Have you seen Fiddler on the Roof?
I have not.
Barbara Streisand cuts off all her hair and plays like a boy.
Wow.
It's like Tootsie in reverse, way back when.
I gotta see this. Yeah.
Okay, but it's a musical.
Uh-huh.
And Barbara Streisand, because women were not allowed to get educated in certain things. She wanted to be educated. She didn't want to be forced to marry. So her dad was Papa, so there's, it almost sounds like from Frozen, but it's Papa, do you hear me?
Yeah.
That comes from Fiddler on the Roof. So,
Yes.
I
yep.
saw that.
Yep, and he literally does play a fiddle on the roof, hence Fiddler on the Roof. But but you can watch the movie version and it's got Barbara Streisand in it.
Wow.
She
Okay.
is I can't think of her name now. What is her name? Anyway, she's the main character. Literally cuts off all her hair and wraps her boobs and dresses and pretends to be a boy.
Wow.
Not because she's cross-dressing but because she's trying to
advance.
Sort of like, have you seen Tootsie? With what is
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. He's an actor and he can't get a job. And so he dresses like a woman to get a job, and now he works.
Wow.
He's an actor, but he can't work except as a woman.
As a woman.
So again, not a cross-dresser. I mean, not
for any other reason, but
he's doing it strictly to work. Yeah.
There's a guy out there. Yeah, he's got some nice legs.
I am hollering.
No.
Oh yeah, the guy that wears the heels.
Yes, with the
Yeah.
dress and the
Oh.
skirts and everything. I hate to say it, but he do look good.
Yeah, that's unfair, isn't it? That's unfair.
Yeah, exactly.
These are
It's
the
his legs.
heels that he's wearing.
Listen, I thought your mama was trying to get you a step there. Thought that was out there with some nice. I act like this everywhere.
Like this is what he does.
That's what he does.
Yeah, you know.
All right, y'all ready for your workout? All right. Give me a 5-minute timer, please.
There you go.
5 minutes. Counting down.
All right. So when you're doing this, and I brought mine out, I want you to look. See how pretty it looks on top?
Yeah.
All right. It still didn't really go down, but that's okay. I want you to see that. It doesn't always go down, but it should. It should go down, but it doesn't always. All right. So you pick up from the side. Okay. Pick it up and squish it into the middle. Okay. And then rotate your bowl. Pick it up. Take it from the side. Squish it into the middle. So you're constantly taking from the outside, pushing to the middle, and folding it over. You see how that works? Okay. And do that a couple of times. Couple of rounds, and then you're going to flip it over. Now, again, I want you to notice, do you see the tears? You want that, because that means you are tearing the gluten. That means it's going to be tender.
Okay.
So you want the holes, you want the dimples, you want that, what looks like stretch marks. You don't want that. Of course, there's several in this room that have no idea what that means.
Listen.
And I'm not about to.
Is yours sticky? Mine looks like sticky.
All right, you need a little more oil.
Okay.
And that's quite all right. Here, if you'll pass that down to her.
All the tears I'm getting is the ones I'm creating.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Then this is right?
Yeah, you're doing it right.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Pour a little oil in your hands. And if you're starting to get tacky or it's starting to dry out, go ahead and get some oil for you. You're not going to hurt it by putting a little oil into your hands. It's not going to hurt it.
Yeah, I got it.
And actually, it adds a little flavor. I like to use olive oil. If you want to use canola oil, you go for it. If you want to use whatever oil, go for it. Like I said, very forgiving.
We've started semi-eating healthy. So she has me eating salad without salad dressing.
Yeah.
Just to add a little
Oil and vinegar.
oil and vinegar. I bought some grapeseed oil, and you know what? The first day I was like, it's okay.
You're
And I
doing
added-
good. Keep going.
Oh, keep going now.
Come on, 5 minutes.
I added ranch to it. It was disgusting. So the next day I just did it with my oil and vinegar, and it actually was good.
Yeah.
It was. I bought some Italian. I cheated.
Well, you can add different kind of vinegars.
Yeah.
Do apple cider, do red vinegar, do
I would do
balsamic.
Raspberry.
Yeah,
Okay.
raspberry vinaigrette. So do you see this? This I bought from Pampered Chef. This is all of these things on the side.
Yeah.
It's how to make dressing. These are all dressing recipes on the side. You put your oil and vinegar. You could just do your grapeseed oil and your vinegar, and put a little a squeeze of garlic in there.
And I love garlic. I went and bought a press the other day.
Put a little lemongrass if you want to go for an
little zestier.
Indonesian. But seriously, this one is really nice though too, because so if I want to make this is Italian dressing.
Okay.
They don't actually expect you to measure. fill to the line.
And then call it a day.
That's it? Okay.
Okay, you fill to the line, and then you add, these are dry measurements, that's why it's
Okay.
there, and then add to the line for vegetable oil,
Okay.
Italian dressing.
Okay.
I mean,
And
off you go.
Yeah, that's
Done. Now, be aware, as you know, now the dressing in your fridge doesn't do this quite as much because it has preservatives in it.
Okay.
But if you're making your own, your oil when cold it'll get separate, a little chunky, just let it come back room temperature, it'll be just fine.
Okay.
But that's because it's got no preservatives in it, which is better for you.
Okay.
But yeah, highly suggest, other companies sell this, I just have a
Got
lot
that
of
one, but I'm
Pampered Chef. This is Pampered Chef. Some of my spoons are I
have a drawer full of the little scrapers. Those are my life.
and I like the one for my cutting boards.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
I've got
husband.
stoneware, and they're
Yeah.
good for that one.
Yeah, my husband loves.
I usually do the same vinaigrettes
yeah.
all the
And
time.
I do have stoneware.
vinegar,
I love it. My husband loves these.
mayonnaise,
Ooh.
Pick it up.
Pick stuff up.
garlic
Made
powder,
by
or
Pampered
just
Chef.
a little bit of garlic
You
and
get yourself
cloves
underneath.
for garlic.
Okay.
So,
And then you can pick up, like I make bread rings,
but
like
I
croissant rings,
Transfer a cake
and
with
I
that.
just mix it
transfer
just
cake.
with water.
He likes it more because he does those
Condensed.
cheesecakes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's
sounds
got
good.
Yeah, like
a
I'm
How long does it
Condensed.
last for? How long does it last for?
Yeah,
I
Love
use it
these
per day
Pampered
actually.
I'm
I just
learning
put
to
a little
cook.
bit in the cup and
I can
just
cook, but I'm not cooking healthy. So I'm learning to cook healthy.
And that, there's your timer, ladies.
Oh, that's your phone. Okay.
I was like,
Next step.
Well, here's where you actually do get to rest. So
Okay.
go ahead and put your cloth back over the top.
Okay.
Well, rest a little bit because we're going to do this. All right? And you can go put it to the middle or put it on the sideboard over here. If your hands are really yucky, you can wash if you wish or not because we're going to be working with more dough anyway. So, I'm going to let that go for a little bit longer. Okay, so this is the dough that I made this morning. Okay? Now, by all rights, I should not be using a knife on this.
Okay.
Okay? The reason is actually a spiritual one.
Okay.
Because we're going to break bread. Okay? In original in the times when you broke bread, this is a weapon of war. Even though it's used at the table, this is the weapon of war. So you didn't have knives to break bread. Because breaking bread meant we're, at the very least, at truce. So this is a no-no.
Okay.
Technically.
Okay.
Again, that's a man-made thing. Okay. I mean, I get it, and I can see how it goes, but it's not in the Bible, so, you know. Sir.
Your oil?
6 hours till dinner.
Thank you. All right, so you can see here all the times that I've turned it and squished it back down and flipped it over, but you can see the whole pockets, okay? This is breathing. Catch.
Hey. All right. Hey.
It's softball.
Well, you're right there, so go ahead.
I'm gonna take this little bitty bit here so that I can show you guys. I'll take that too. But you see how that came apart? Just because of how I was kneading it. That's what it is. All right, so you can do a lot of stuff with this dough, okay? It, like I said, I put for Christmas. Ooh, that's already nice and soft. Good. For Thanksgiving, I actually created little pumpkins. Like I said, all I did was remove the oil and the water other than what I used for the yeast, and I replaced it with pumpkin. Literally a can of pureed pumpkin, okay? And I did everything else exactly the same other than. Then I put it in a ball, and I used butcher twine, and took it up over the top. I twisted it and took it down, okay? Baked it,
Like a pumpkin.
cut it off, and I can show you. You've seen the pictures, but I can show you pictures. It looks just, and I just stick a little pecan in the top when it's done, and it looks like a pumpkin. You know, so this is a very forgiving thing. I can make this sweet. Okay, I can stuff it. People do it with cheese. You can make, if you look on YouTube, people make ornate things, but if you flatten it out, you can stuff it and then you pinch it closed. When you do that, make sure though you put the seam down, otherwise it will come open. But this is very forgiving dough. Okay? So all you need to do, and I'll pass around the knife. Be careful. I don't mind that you cut down, just be careful you don't cut all the way through through my mat.
Okay.
All right? So you're going to need cut 4. I want you to divide those into 4. So if you want to make it into a ball so that you can cut it easier, that's fine.
I was gonna say, you got another piece right there.
What's that?
You had another piece.
Yeah.
I thought you had it.
Yeah. And I'm going to, so I've already got my,
Just into 4.
here.
Thank you.
Yeah, just into 4. And then you're going to roll them into snakes or ropes, however you want to call it. Because I know people are like, no snakes, you know.
Listen, that was about to be me.
All right, and the more often you do it, the better you'll get at getting it equal and all of that stuff. But I'm having you do it in 4 because I'm going to show you the 2 easiest, most popular, and then pass that down. The 2 easiest, most popular shapes. Now, the reason it's typically braided, and if you've ever braided hair, most of us have, then you know how to do this. It's just a regular braid, just like you would braid your hair, okay? The reason that that's the shape that was made is because a couple hundred years ago in Poland, there was a baker who thought that the most beautiful shape he'd ever seen in the world was his wife's braided hair. Hence, the braid was born, and that was all she wrote. So the braid has actually nothing to do with anything. It's just this baker, and everybody just followed behind him. Okay. So there's nothing special to the braid. Just that's the thing. Now to braid more than. I can show you how to braid 4 or more strands. I can show you how to do it. And it doesn't matter how many more strands you get, it's exactly the same method. Okay. So, we have a comment. Could you read for me, please? Or is she just saying hi? No. Just at the bottom right there.
Oh, I think that, Hannah said, I miss you guys. Wish I didn't have to work. And
come join us.
Miss Jessie says, miss y'all.
Oh, Jessie.
Miss Jessie.
How long do they need to be?
Okay, so that just depends on how long you plan on making your braid.
Okay.
Now, the smaller they are, now think like hair. If they're going to be big and fat, they're going to be hard to, but you don't want them too long because then they're hard to move again. Okay? But you are going to need some length. I would like you to try to get 6 plus inches.
Mine won't roll like yours.
So the secret to it is pushing down in the middle to push it out and roll it. Okay, as you're doing that. Now, if you're on your table or whatever, this tablecloth actually works well for it. But if it's sticking, you put a little olive oil on your counter or your table. Okay. But you see now how it looks flat in the middle and bulbous on the either end, right? That's good because once I got it in the middle, then I can, from the inside, look, I'm making a V, and then I just pull it out as I roll it.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, see, keep going, you're doing good. And yes, I've been doing this for over 10 years, so I've got a little practice on me.
Oh, that's the size of a pretzel. About the thickness of a pretzel. Okay.
Well, it depends on how much dough you got. This is what I got. So this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm working with. And it will shrink down a little bit. After you've rolled it out, it will, and you go to work on the next one, you're like, wait, mine was longer than that. If it tears, that's all right. Fold it all over again, fold it back up, make it a ball, and start again. It's fine. Now I want you to pay attention to the texture of this too, because the texture is important. The rising is not so much. The the being able to punch it down, not such a thing, but the texture is more important. You want that nice smooth texture that you're feeling, so that it bakes up nice and tender, okay? So, roll. This one end is not wanting to roll. Roll. All right. So, we all know how to do the simple braid. While you're still rolling, you keep going, okay? So, I start about a third of the way down, just because I will finish it going the other way. And that takes some practice to braid the opposite direction. It does take a little practice. Just like I said, I've been doing it a while. So, 3 strands, relatively the same length, yeah? Over.
Oh, I divide mine in 4.
Yeah.
No, you're fine, because we're going to do something else with 4.
Okay.
All right, so when you get it done, you pinch it together, and I flip it over, because underneath, for whatever reason, looks better than the top does. Okay, you pinch it together, you fold the ends over, and you're ready to go. Okay?
Good idea.
It's just a braid.
No, yeah, for you it's just a braid.
No, it's for you too.
Oh,
You didn't braid her hair?
that's why I had somebody else do it.
Okay,
My old way of doing it wasn't looking good.
look, right to the center.
No, I only got 2.
Well,
That's
get
what
you a
I said,
third.
yeah.
Is right to the center, left to the center, right to the center, left to the center. It is not hard. Like I said, going the other way is a little more difficult. All right, that is your classic. When you look in the store, this is your classic. This is what you see, and this is because of the baker.
Okay.
Okay. The one that we use at New Year's for Rosh Hashanah is round. New Year's, round, circle of life, all of that stuff, okay? That does take 4. So,
Also, it depends on the event, actually.
like I said, I've seen somebody make a whole, they did a whole for Pentecost and the wheat and the wave offering. So you take what they call the four species. It's not German. The 4 species, and you wave it in as an offering to God. Okay, and it's myrtle, lemon, myrtle, palm,
Left to the center.
willow, and
To the center.
there's another one. But the 4 species, and they are listed in the Bible. So it's not just. So anyway, so she using bread, she made the 4 species, and then wrapped with another piece of bread. They can make them beautiful. Check out YouTube.
This is art.
It can be art. And you know, like in France, they can make some beautiful things in the bakeries, right? Some crazy beautiful things just using dough.
You know what, she's cheating over here.
How's she cheating?
Right?
She's cheating. No, the other way.
Okay.
The other way.
This way?
No,
Can I just do
no, yeah, there. Now that middle one needs to go over. Yeah, because you're going backwards.
Okay. Like
Yep.
this?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So it's funny if you go, like if you watch somebody braid hair, if the braid is inside, it's called a French braid. If the braid is outside, so they sent the pieces underneath, that's called a Dutch.
There you go.
It's just the way it's done, or they taught it, or whatever.
There you go.
Doesn't make a difference. See, you got it.
Oh, you don't have to roll that one out, do you?
Yeah, she does. Because we're going to do the round one here in a
Okay.
minute. And the round one, actually, I did for my son. He wanted turtles. And so I was able to turn the round one into little turtles.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
So you can do it for whatever you want, and you see how nice, so you feel it, okay, and how nice it behaves, and how it does hold its shape. So you can use this to make wreaths. do a nice, do them really long, and do them right, and then turn them and make a wreath. I did that for Christmas. You stick a salad in the middle, and then you get fresh bread and you can play with this. Like I said, you can stuff these. I've chopped up apples and I've put in it. I know people who've stuffed them with cheese. When I make it sweet, when I'm rolling the snakes out, I roll it in a sweet mixture. So it gets all the way in, and then it gets braided, and so it's definitely in. If you cut it, you can actually see that. And I use cinnamon, sugar, nutmeg, cloves, allspice.
So it's weaved in between.
Like cinnamon roll.
Exactly. Somebody actually thought it was akin to monkey bread.
Oh yeah.
Monkey bread. That's a funny name.
Yeah. It's good.
It has nothing to do with monkeys. I don't know
Is
why.
it kind of like a cinnamon roll?
In a cake form.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And you just
And it's normally in little balls that you pull apart.
you can do it with canned biscuits too.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You are cheap or easy or whatever. All right, so if you've got 4 now, I'm going to teach you how to do this round one. All right?
You
So we
unbraid
gotta
it.
do this one.
Yeah, go ahead and undo that one for now, because I'm teaching you how. Now, so your dough is doing its thing, right? So this is so you can go home and you've had your lessons on braiding, and now you can braid and bake it so it sets in your head, okay?
Okay.
Because even though I'm having you do it while I'm teaching it, you doing it again later will help.
Okay.
All right, so us old people, we know it as a hash mark or a pound sign. You youngins know it as a hash or a
Hashtag, yeah.
hashtag. Yeah. All right. So the way this goes is, so you have 2 up and 2 down. Okay, right? 2 up, 2 down, and you're going to alternate. All right. So put your two straight up and down, right? Okay. So this top one over here, you can leave it. This bottom one goes under.
Okay.
You got it. So on the right, the one at the top goes under, and the one at the bottom goes. Say, you got it. You got it. All right. Now, tuck them in. Tuck them together.
Okay.
Because you want them as close as possible.
Okay.
Because now we're going to weave. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So this one up and
Yep.
over.
Yep.
This one.
Nope. Put that one back.
This,
Yep. You're good. No.
Oh, no,
The other.
that-
Now the other side.
this one.
So this
There
one,
you go.
Yeah, slide it down.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You see, it's alternating each one.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, now tuck them all together, so get them all close. Yep, and then the bottom ones need to get pushed together too. Yep.
Okay.
There you go. Yep, you got it. Keep going. As tight as you can get them. All right, now, this is a clock,
Okay.
okay? Wherever you start on the clock, you finish on the clock, okay? And we start with the one that is under,
Okay.
okay? So for me, this is my bottom right at 6 o'clock. That's just whichever. If it's your
Okay.
bottom left, I don't care. Doesn't matter. All right? Whichever, I start at the bottom, where if you want to start at the top, go for it. Whichever one is underneath, that one goes over the top. And so my 6 o'clock now goes to 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay? My 9 o'clock under goes to 12. Over the other one.
Oh, wait.
Like this.
Wait, I was right with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You're doing it. All right. Now hold there, because you've done all 4. Yep. Yep.
This one?
Yep. Oh wait, you already did that one. Yeah. You did all 4. You're good. You're good.
So I got this one.
Yep.
And I
Now,
go up to
9
that one.
o'clock under goes to 12.
Oh.
12 o'clock under goes to 3. 3 o'clock under goes to 6. Stop.
Okay.
Because that's where you stopped, right? You started, right? All right. Now, because these are a little short, just play with give it a little
Just
tug.
tug it.
Okay.
Just a little tug. No, we got to go back around.
Okay.
So now it's still the one that is under. And if there you go. 6 o'clock now goes to 3.
Okay.
3 o'clock now goes to 12.
Okay.
Okay? You see how that going?
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right, keep going.
This one.
Like this.
this way. This one goes that way.
Now I'm seeing this.
Yep. Now this one goes over this one.
This.
And it's so funny
Yep.
because now I'm seeing this pattern.
And this one goes over that one. There you go. And then this one, yeah, nope.
I can't do it
Yep.
sitting down. It drives me crazy.
There we go. Like that. All right, now just hold them together. If you've done one each direction,
I was watching them just fixing my mind.
no, you're fine. If you've gone both directions,
Here you go, baby. Thank you. You want to roll it on this?
Please.
all right. So you give it a little pinch where you crossed it. The little edges come to all the little points come to the middle on top. Okay? I pulled them all the way up onto the top. Put my palm over to hold them and flip them over.
I've seen that one.
See?
I have this
No,
long
no,
one.
no, you're fine. Go, keep it.
Like this.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. So now, just bring your edges to the middle.
Oh, okay.
Bring your edges to the middle. Put your palm on top. Don't squish. Now pick up.
Okay, and flip. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Cute.
You see how cute that is?
So cute.
It looks like a
Now,
flower.
now
It
here.
does, doesn't it?
Now, if you bring out this little end here, and you bring out that little end there, and you bring out this little end here, you see where I'm getting legs and head? And I get a turtle?
Yeah.
Okay? So, see, it's kind of difficult, but not really.
Okay.
You just got to do it. Okay? So, I'm going to go get a little bit of sweet so some of us will make sweet. I want you to play and braid however you want to do, or if you want to leave it the way it is and bake it that way, then you go right on ahead. And here, you can play with those. But braid it up however you want, or just practice them out again, and we'll bake these.
Okay.
And we're going to eat these.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like
Because
to,
yours are going to go home with you.
I would like to have mine on the sweet side.
I'm
Just
with my nature.
go ahead and put my You know, this trainer come Tuesday morning, you know, to get it out the way because I don't think she gonna play. So,
How many times a week you been working out?
3.
Okay.
Oh wow. Like
So
on
Tuesdays.
mornings?
Oh, well, in the evening when I get off, we're gonna do Tuesday. She wanted to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
Thank God for the Lord. I gotta go to church, ma'am. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do 3 days in a row. Why would you want to do 3 days in a row?
Exhausting actually.
Like, and I told her I have not exercised, like, literally taking it serious since 2015. And you want me to just come out and start with 3 days?
Yeah.
You want to set me up for failure.
See.
That's
But where? Where do you go?
We're going to go to the Valley to Anytime Fitness.
Okay.
So I have a membership in Opelika at the Sportsplex. But my oldest daughter, I think she'll feel more comfortable, like, away from anybody she may know.
Okay.
So-
I understand that. Yeah.
We're gonna go out there.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be so much fun. You know, she's a sweetheart.
Uh-oh, cinnamon.
Cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, sugar.
Okay.
She likes sweet. So put some in the middle so as you braid it, it gets all in the middle. Then I'm going to show you how to make compound butter.
Okay. Do you want? You want this sugary?
Yes.
Now, why did I take this loose? Okay, I'm sorry.
We're going to make it nice and easy here. We're going to make a sweet one and a garlic one.
Ooh, shoot. Okay.
Now, these are what started me on my Pampered Chef journey.
Okay.
And if you bought from Pampered Chef and do not have stones, there's something wrong with you. Okay? See the color? See the color? This is well loved. You
Okay.
don't need to wash this with soap. As a matter of fact, don't.
It's like a cast iron skillet.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Don't.
Yeah.
No! You scrape it with hot water and
Don't
you
put it in the
scrape.
dishwasher.
Stop!
No.
Better not. Anyway, love, love, love my stones. Makes the best cookies and bread and whatnot. So once you're done with whatever, I've got 2 stones that we're gonna put them on, and we're gonna put them in the oven. Don't know if you heard, but it dinged, is hot, and ready to go. 350 for 30 some odd minutes.
I'm just ready.
You ready? Come on now, bring it here. Put it on the round one. Okay. So, butter, compound butter. What is compound mean? Does anybody know?
The mixture?
A mixture. Very good.
Yes, ma'am.
It is a mixture. Now, people go, "Oh, you're going to make sugar butter or cinnamon butter? That's really hard." No, it's not. Okay. These have been sitting out all morning. So they are salt.
Is it salted or unsalted butter?
I believe it's unsalted.
Okay.
If you're gonna do a savory one, then you can use salted butter.
Okay.
But I would not use a salted butter and do a sweet butter. That would be a little weird. Anyway,
There we go.
so
That's nice to contribution.
nice one here too. All right, so I have butter in a bowl
So cute.
that's been there all morning, so it's nice and soft, right?
Oh, my heart. Okay.
I have garlic butter.
Sprinkle a little bit more on that and boot.
Which one?
We put a lot. And
He
wants that one.
Garlic butter, done.
did you put a lot of a paste?
I'm sorry.
Just took a little bit.
However much you want.
Okay.
What was that you put in?
Garlic.
Oh, God.
I love these.
Yeah.
I love, love, love these squeeze tubes. Love, love, love these squeeze tubes.
Beans. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh.
seriously, done.
Did anybody want any on here?
No.
I make it sweet. Give me a little cinnamon. I am. Going on for half an hour.
That's gonna be good.
Need more cinnamon. Need more cinnamon. Oh, there's nothing there. There it is. All right. Cinnamon sugar butter.
Okay.
Compound butter. That was not hard, was it? Now, I'll make it even more fun for you. You see when it comes on from the kitchen, and it's in those funky shapes, or just in these little round things. It ain't hard. And you just gotta become an expert at making snakes. Guess what? Help me out. Pull out a whatnot of it, a strip of it. You know what? Yeah. You've done this before, right?
Yep.
All right. You take out a piece. You get to do the garlic. Now you need enough. Now put it in one long spoon would have actually been better. In a cylinder on your saran wrap. Got it? There you go. Alright, you put it in a cylinder. Okay, not that skinny. I'm not Andrea skinny. Or Stephanie skinny. Alright, so all you do is fold it. Here, give this to your mom. You fold it over, right? And then you squish it back. Okay? And then just roll it up. And then twist the ends.
Like a candy.
Yep, and the more you roll it, the more perfect of a circle it will become. And then you throw it in the freezer or the fridge.
And then you put on steak and cut it. This
That's a good
Roll it.
snack when you have
Here,
like
fold it over.
visitors.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Hold it over like this.
Oh,
Yep. And then you're going to take it this way, and then you want to squish it back towards the fold.
Yeah, go ahead, Mom.
You see that? All right. Squish it back towards the fold until you get about the size you want, and then roll it up in the. Keep rolling it in the.
Like a
Yep.
candy.
Yep. Like a burrito. Keep going. No, you want it circly. You don't want it flat
Oh,
from
okay.
your fingers.
oh, okay. Okay. Well,
So I'm going to put these in the freezer for right now because we're going to want these for the bread that we're going to eat. We're going to want these for the bread that we're going to eat
I
here.
don't know.
Yeah.
Do you tie it?
No, we don't need to tie it.
Okay.
Here, just pass it down. Now they have all these little cool gadgets like cookie presses that will make them into pretty shapes. It's butter, people. Alright, so I put it in the freezer and we will eat it when these come out in about half an hour.
Okay.
Will you grab this? And then we will, if you'll take my things to the kitchen and we'll go sit in there and do our lesson.
Oh, what about your challah?
Yeah, our halas.
Oh, I need, no, I'm good with chairs. I'll get foil. Thank you for reminding me.
you know what? I'm thinking about making some toast in the morning for breakfast. Have this, spread this on. Oh, to give that toast a different taste.
Listen.
Now, I'm going to leave these vegan, which means no egg. If you want to make them all shiny, then you put an egg wash on them.
Okay.
Just beat an egg and paint it.
Okay. Okay.
For your little pieces, piece of foil, piece of foil. There you go. See, nice and simple. And I do have plain butter for later too. Now this is Kerrygold, so this is a little more expensive, but let me tell you what. It's good stuff.
Okay.
So, all right, so other than that, we're gonna grab your waters, or if I need to get you a water or something, please go ahead and grab it and go into the other room and we'll actually do our lesson. We're gonna throw those in the bottom of the oven so that they can burn. Our offerings can burn. Trash is just to the right of where Michael is standing, in the back. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. See, I just throw it in the bottom. In the bottom. All right, I'm gonna grab the camera. Would you take this with you, please? So I can grab the camera.
And I'm gonna put my dough back in my bowl
Oh yeah.
so I don't steal your bowl.
Yeah, don't take my Pampered Chef bowl.
Listen,
We gonna fight. We gonna fight.
my house will so enjoy this.
All right, and once you've done that, go ahead and come in here and we'll start on our lesson. The other part of the lesson. Where do you go? There. Drop you down. Okay. Plug you in. I'm gonna give your mom this chair over here instead in your case, just because
Okay.
it's not. Miss April, if you want to sit over here or there, either one, I'm gonna be down here. Okay. So. Well, that's gonna be fun. That's all right. I pulled out a chair
Thank you.
for you to sit in. So.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right, so our lesson today is on Leviticus 11. For those of you that have not come to Friday, this is, other than the liturgy, this is exactly what we do, right? We have a lesson and it's a lesson. It's a discussion. I'm not preaching, so if you have a question, please ask. Okay? So, Leviticus 11, in particular, is about dietary law, okay? Which is called Kashrut, all right? It's where we get, so that's the entire dietary law, and that's where you get the words kosher from, okay? So kosher means basically clean to eat, okay? And there are rules in Leviticus 11 on everything that you can eat, okay? So, there you can see maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so in almost every category, there is a two-prong test, okay? Very simple. With the land animals, it has to chew the cud, which, very disgustingly, they probably have more than one stomach, and they vomit from one stomach back into their mouth, chew it again, and send it back down to the second stomach. Okay? Most famously, when you're watching cows lay down and they're sitting there, that's exactly what they've done. They vomited into their mouth, they've chewed, and they're swallowing it again. Very, very gross. Another reason why I would never eat beef tongue forever. And gross. Yuck. Anyway. Okay. So, it has to chew the cud. If the animal does not chew the cud, it's already removed from the list. Okay? Now, the second half of that test is...
What is cud? Would be like just the grass?
Cud is the thrown up grass.
Okay.
Yep, that's what it is.
Okay.
Yes.
I know, right?
The vomit.
I heard what you said.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. All right. Yes, it's the grass. Okay. It's getting chewed twice. You know, like a twice baked potato. Anyway, the second prong to that, however, is a cloven hoof. Okay? Now, if you look at a horse's hoof, or hoof print, looks like that, right? A horseshoe, right? That is not cloven. Okay? That cloven means divided. So a cow's hoof
So the V. Okay.
looks more like that. Okay? That is cloven. Okay? Okay? So if it walks on fours on the land, it must follow both of these rules, or you may not eat it. So, a cow, yes. Sheep, yes. Goat, yum. Just wish I could find goat around here. Pig,
No.
no.
Yeah.
They do not chew the cud. They have a cloven hoof. They do not chew the cud. My animal scientist over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that is the because I said so rule. Okay. Now, because I said so 1,000 years ago, well, you didn't have a lot of certain pieces of knowledge 1,000 years ago. Okay. Where did the Israelites live? What temperate? What climate?
Hot and humid, right?
What do we call it?
Desert.
Desert. Okay. Ms. Animal Scientist, what is one thing that pigs don't do?
They don't sweat.
They don't sweat.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is why they wallow in the mud. Because they do not sweat. Now, what is the last thing you're going to do when you live in the desert?
You're gonna sweat.
Is pour water on the ground for a pig to wallow in.
Okay.
Because that means somebody ain't drinking it. Right? Okay. So that's one practical reason for no, we're not doing that. Another practical reason for no, we don't eat pig, is they carry a disease called trichinosis. that can survive, oh, by the way, can survive the cooking process if you don't do it properly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can literally open a package of Oscar Mayer ham and you can have little bugs then grow in your head.
Ooh.
Yes, this is why. So this is practical reason number 2. But 2,000 years ago, we didn't have microscopes and the such, and so we didn't know that there were these little bugs that grow in your head. The episode of House that she had trichinosis, that was the coolest episode ever.
Yeah, the brain.
Anyway, so can you eat a camel?
Yes.
Oh, you can?
They don't have hooves.
Oh.
Can you eat a tiger?
No.
Can you eat a bear?
No.
No. So here's another very easy rule to think about. Okay? You can eat a cow, you can eat sheep, you can eat goats. You can't eat a tiger, you can't eat a bear. What's the difference between those two groups?
One's clean, unclean.
Yes, that's not what I'm after.
Carnivore.
Carnivore, prey versus predator. Very good. You may not eat a predator. If it kills to eat, you may not eat it. It doesn't say that in the Bible, but that's really what it comes down to. Okay? If you look at all the rules, make it really easy. If it kills to eat, you may not eat it. Okay? Pretty simple.
No knife at the.
Yeah, no knife. Right, exactly. No knife. They don't have knives. Okay, if it's in the sea, it must have both fins and scales. Okay? Let go of my shirt. Thank you. It must have both fins and scales. Okay? So, shrimp. Fins and scales?
No.
No. Clams?
No.
Lobsters?
No.
Shark?
Yeah.
No scales.
No scales.
Okay.
If you want to get into the technicalities of it, they are called scales, but they are not scales. Okay. So, if it does not have both fins and scales, you may not eat it. There are Orthodox Jews that will not eat, I think it's sturgeon, because as a juvenile it has scales, but when it becomes an adult it loses them, so they won't eat it. Not even that they will only eat it as a juvenile, they won't eat it at all.
Any life stage. Okay.
Exactly. So, can you eat catfish?
No.
Okay. Fins and scales. And for most of it, predator works here too. Now, I know that a tuna eats smaller fish. However, you can't eat a shark, you can't eat a barracuda, you get what I'm saying? Predator. You can't eat an orca, a killer whale, you can't eat dolphin. Get what I'm saying, predator? Okay. Can't eat them. Okay? Which is why no shellfish, no pork is what you always hear when they talk about being kosher. Okay?
Question.
Yes.
So, in the Bible, where it talks about fishermen, they eat a lot of fish.
Yes.
And so what kind of fish are they eating?
Trout, grouper,
So that's what,
bass, tuna,
so that's what
salmon.
they're pulling in when you read it in the Bible. Okay.
So,
There's tons and tons of fish that you can eat. Tons of fish you can eat. And you don't normally go to the store even and find shark, do you? Okay, but it has to be fish. So no shellfish, no clams. So that's the I told you so. The practical reason. Well, one, we don't eat predators because we don't eat predators. Okay, you don't eat something that eats meat. Oh, that's another reason you don't eat pork. They're omnivores.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, they eat each other.
They'll eat each other. There was a Criminal Minds episode.
Yes.
After that, I was like, no, I was always, let me tell you what, even before that episode, I did not like hogs, like the big ones. They terrified me. Even before that.
But they should.
Little pigs, I can deal with. You know, pot belly, the little things. Give me a hog, I'm done. I worked at a farm where a couple of hogs had taken over one of the stalls in the barn and said, I ain't going in there. I ain't going anywhere near there. The door's staying closed. I'm not going in there. I'll deal with the stallion before I'll deal with them hogs. Like, Yeah, no, hogs are omnivores, which is another reason for the no-nos. Okay? They eat meat. So, No shellfish. No. So the other part is no shellfish. Crabs, lobsters, shrimp. Where do they live? Other than the water.
Bottom
Where?
feeders.
They're bottom feeders. What did we used to do with our trash and still do today?
Dump it.
In the
Ocean.
So guess who's eating it?
Yeah.
Scavengers. Oh, rule number 2. If they scavenge, you cannot eat it. So anything that scavenges, or anything that scavenges or eats the dead, carry-on eaters, you can't eat them. They're not clean. Okay? Kind of simple. No predators, no scavengers.
Okay.
We're looking at first-tier animals on the pretty much on the list. Okay. So fins and scales. Did you guys realize? And I'm sorry if you love lobster, but that's basically an ocean cockroach.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, please don't. What?
But they taste good dipped in butter, don't they?
Yeah.
They taste really good dipped in butter, don't they?
Big crawfish.
I
too.
love. Hey, girl, I love me some shellfish.
Yeah.
I do. I don't eat it anymore by choice, but I love
Listen,
me
and
some.
I like to learn new things that are practical and apply them. And I'm over here like, I just bought 7 bags of shrimp.
Yes.
Right.
See?
Now, if they're farmed, obviously they're eating slightly better. But it's
After this,
sorry.
after they're gone.
How about this? Think about this. You ever eat chitlins?
Yeah.
You know what those are, right? Uh-huh.
Intestines. Yeah.
Except that's very popular in one particular culinary cuisine, right?
I've never had a chance to eat them because no one wants to share them.
Oh.
Good. You keep them. I'm not sharing them with you.
Yeah. Well, hot sauce.
I won't eat.
They will not share them, so I've never had a chance to get them.
No.
We're in good shape then.
I'm sorry. I'm not risking. I'm not eating something that produces poop. I'm just not. I don't eat organs of any kind. People like all about gizzards and chicken hearts and liver and all
I
that.
eat gizzards.
It takes too long to cook them.
No, forget that.
I boil my gizzards and put them in some rice.
No, the chili. You gotta.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that whole process.
But think about it. Livers. People, liver and onions, right?
Yeah.
What does the liver do in your body?
Cleanses.
Filters.
Yeah.
Yeah, gets all the
Just
junk
a-
out.
Yeah.
That's where it sits.
So you might as well eat a dirty sponge.
Go on and get you that shrimp.
Yes.
Same thing.
Eat you some liver and shrimp, and you just dirty it up.
I can't eat the liver, but I can eat the shrimp. That's going to be a hard one for me.
Hey, I'm serious. Shrimp was harder to give up for me than bacon.
Oh, yeah.
I gave up pork,
Yeah,
no
pork, I
problem.
have a problem with no pork.
Shrimp was very hard for me. For years, I had to second guess myself. For years. Ma'am.
No, I was just gonna say, what, caviar? Those are eggs.
Yes, you can eat those.
Oh, you can?
You
can
get
eat
that
eggs.
from sturgeon
No,
usually.
caviar, egg.
Yeah.
It depends on what fish they're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly they're from sturgeon, so you
Yeah,
gotta be
sturgeon.
careful.
Yeah.
See? Yep. Get you some salmon roe, you just fine.
Yeah.
That's why Jews eat so much salmon.
I just purchased so much
So
down too
sardines.
because I was doing
Sardines, anchovies,
and no
salmon.
pork.
Yes. Jews eat tons and tons of that for those reasons because they're clean. They're clean to eat. Okay, so if it comes from the air, you pretty much can't eat it.
You can't.
This is
Because they
scavenger.
scavenge.
Pheasants.
Or they're predators.
What
And
about
ducks.
chicken
Well, that's not technically.
in the air? I was
It's
hoping
not
my
technically in
chicken
the air.
didn't
It's
fly,
kosher. It's kosher. You can eat fowl,
Okay. thank
duck,
you.
turkey, goose, chicken.
Okay.
You can eat it all.
What about pheasant and all?
Yep, you can eat it. Quail, guinea, you can eat them all.
What's the pheasant?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Small word.
It doesn't quite fit into any of these categories.
Okay.
Let me just say, it's kosher. You can eat it.
Okay.
Yes.
Woo, fun.
Yes. So, but yes, pretty much if it flies, you can't eat it.
Okay.
And there is an extensive list in the Bible of from the stork to the whoopie to the kite to the osprey. But think about it again. Hawks, eagles, barn owls, what are they?
They're scavengers.
Scavengers.
Or
Predators.
predators. Can't eat
Ostrich.
it. Can't eat it.
They mean anyway.
I have eaten it. Tastes like chicken.
You do?
It does. And I've tasted emu. Tastes like chicken. There was a time where I was not kosher, so I've eaten some stuff. Snails, ooh, escargot.
Oh, I don't like
haven't had that yet.
You didn't? We were in Paris, and I'm like, dude, if I'm going to eat escargot anywhere, I'm going to do it in Paris.
Exactly.
And we stopped at this restaurant. I kid you not, it was so funny. We didn't really think about the menu when we looked at it and the numbers. They weren't like meals at Wendy's or what was the price? We paid $20 for some toast with some smoked salmon on it.
Oh my goodness.
It was like 3 or 4 little pieces of bread and just enough salmon to go on it. But I'll tell you what, those were the best lox I ever had in my life. They were buttery, melting your mouth. You didn't even have to chew it. It was so good. We got escargot at this place.
Wow.
Anything drowned in
That's
garlic
fancy.
butter is pretty much good. You know, but we did. We had, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
let me tell you what. We came out of that place with like a $150 bill because we didn't realize what the numbers were. The
Just
good.
people?
Oh no, we were all 5 there,
Okay.
That's not bad.
but 3 children.
3 children.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good price here.
Oh no.
Nowadays.
Shoot, no. The rest of the day though, like we stopped at the bakeries and whatnot. You could. They have sandwich shops where you just grab it and walk on. We ate practically the rest of the time we were in Paris for like $100 for the whole day.
Wow.
For all 5 of us. Oh, the crepes. Oh.
Oh, okay.
There was this one place, it was a bar / little something shop, but in the corner they had this whole cutout like a bay window, but they had a big crepe stand, right, a crepe flat grill right there. I kid you not, it was like this big around. The crepe was this big around. And they stow on there, you know, the batter, you know, and then they flip it, and then they put what you want, and they folded it up and they hand it to you. Like a slice of pizza. Like a New York slice of pizza is that big. Seriously, you could feed everybody for several hours on that thing. Oh yeah. We were literally, the rest of the time we were in Paris, there were plenty of places that we could eat for ridiculously less, but this one was like right near the Eiffel Tower, and it was like really frou-frou, and we ordered the stuff that, you know.
He was like an enemy in Paris.
Well, you know what?
Have you seen that?
You know what? We had our one meal of ridiculously in Paris. We did our thing, you know? So, but anyway, yes, if it flies, you pretty much can't eat it. Okay, pretty much. But pretty much every fowl that you can get in the grocery store, you're good to eat. Okay? You're good there. You can eat insects. There are insects that are kosher. No, I have not had them. No, I will not unless I'm starving, but there are. Only 4.
Where are they?
Locusts, grasshoppers, katydids, and crickets. Those are the only 4, quote, swarming creatures you may eat.
So no ant.
No ants. No ants.
But it's
And it specifically reads, all winged swarming creatures that go on 4s are a detestable thing, except you may eat those that have jointed legs above their feet, enabling to jump the ground. So wings, 4 feet, and joints. Remember, there's always these little rules, and there's never less than 2, okay? Because they're being very specific about what you can eat. So those are the only 4 insects that you can eat. Now, there are even some rabbis that will go so far as to say, actually you can't because those insects don't exist anymore. I'm not about to be eating insects anyway, so we don't have a problem, but just so you're aware, those are what's listed here. The locust, except for you may eat the various kinds of locusts, grasshoppers, katydids,
Cicadas?
that could be what that is, and crickets, which would make sense with grasshoppers and crickets, cicadas.
They're the 2, yeah.
Those are the 3 that you may eat, or 4 that you may eat. Locusts, grasshoppers, cicadas, and crickets, which are pretty much all the same thing, and most people wouldn't know the difference anyway.
Exactly. I just saw one the other day. Yeah, they're
Walk
big.
outside, you can hear them, go eat them.
Exactly.
Have fun.
Those are the bugs that you hear at night.
I know they are. I'm trying to figure out why the rabbis don't, or they don't think
They said that there's certain species that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, because I stay in Beauregard. and there's plenty. Yeah,
Oh no, they exist. It's just the species.
Okay.
All right, the following will make you unclean. So not only does kosher come down to what you can and cannot eat, but you can't even touch
Oh wow.
the dead carcass of.
What if it touches you? Like it just jump on you?
Well,
That's true.
if it jumps on you, it's not dead yet.
Like
But that's okay. You just can't eat. You can't touch the dead
the
carcass.
dead. Okay.
If they're still alive, you're good. But you're only unclean until the evening. Okay, and then you take a ritual bath and you're good to go. It's okay.
About to do it.
But whoever picks up any part of their carcass is to wash their clothes and be unclean until evening. Where then, like I said, they'll take a bath, a ritual bath, and they're fine. It's no big deal. But it talks about whatever goes on paws, on floors. I mean, it lists it all out, okay? So, but not only can you not touch dead things of that variety, you may not touch dead things at all. Unless they are of the clean for the purpose of eating. Okay? If you've killed the animal for eating purposes, then you're okay. But you can't just touch dead things. Which is why Samson was in so much trouble when he touched the carcass. Okay? That's a no-no. And his Nazarene vow made it that he couldn't touch anyway. But that's a whole other thing. But yeah, you can't even touch the dead stuff. Okay? Don't touch the dead stuff. You cannot eat anything that died on its own. Now, let's think about this. Why would we not want to eat something that died on its own?
Illness.
Yeah, why did it just die?
Exactly. Why did it die? And 2,000 years ago, did we know that stuff? Nope. So, not necessarily. So, you can't eat anything that died on its own. So you have to kill it. Okay? You can't eat anything that's been dead more than 3 days. Again, 2,000 years ago, what did we not have in reference to food 2,000 years ago for dead things more than 3 days?
Refrigeration.
Bingo. Well, gee whiz. Let's just be practical, okay? So, you can't eat things that died on its own. You can't eat things that's been dead longer than, okay? Some very simple things, okay? So you will hear the term, like I said, kosher. So not only does an animal have to be kosher in its raising and there's certain rules, okay? There's certain, you can't give them just any kind of shot, like the antibiotics and all of that stuff. Some of the kosher animals kosher meat is expensive because of how they're also raised. They're raised, PETA has nothing on kosher animals. They got nothing to say about it, okay? It's also how it's killed. Okay? There is a particular kind of rabbi that does all of the killing. And, oh, by the way, 99.9% of all meat that you eat, or poultry, is killed in this fashion, just not with the particular Orthodox rabbi behind it. Okay?
Bleed out.
What?
Bleed out, right?
Yeah.
Bled it, yeah.
Hang it from its
Well,
hind legs
yeah.
or its legs, and you slit its throat and let it bleed out. That's also the most humane way to kill the animal. Now, being that to be declared kosher, it's this particular kind of rabbi. He has to sharpen his knife a particular amount of times between every single kill. He says a blessing.
Blessing.
Okay, but that's how almost everything is killed anyway. But it's very expensive because you have to have all the extras. Right? That's what makes things expensive, is the extras, not the stuff, it's the extras. Okay? So,
Question.
yes.
Do they pray over the animal before they kill him?
If you saw the movie Avatar, when she makes the kill, there's the prayer that she's like, thank you for giving your life for us, and please may you on, same kind of idea. Now, non-kosher animals can also not be used for sacrifices. Okay? Think back to the Bible. You can have a dove and pigeons and you brought a goat or none of it could be a non-kosher animal. That's unforgivable. That is the word tamini. I'm sorry, tamai. Tamai and tahor. Tahor means defiled. Tamai means forbidden. Okay, in reference specifically to the sacrifices. Okay, and this is spiritual clean and unclean, not actually clean and unclean. Okay, so one of my dog's tricks doing as a kid was kosher and treif. Kosher, you could eat it. Treif, you couldn't. So you had the little doggy bar cookie, and treif, kosher, and then you eat it. Treif means not clean, kosher, for food sakes. Okay, just another words you may hear that come along with. Now, some questions you may be asking about. Let me do this one first. All right. There's also kosher. There's kosher to eat things with, and there's kosher during certain particular times of the year. So, where is little symbol? Where is it? Oh.
The KOR symbol?
Yeah. So if you look here, you'll find it on your ketchup. You won't find it on Oreos. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But anyway, you will find an O with a U in it. Okay? That means it has been certified by the Union of Orthodox Rabbis. Okay? And then, like this one says parv. So even though this is chicken flavored, parv means it can go with either milk or meat. And I'll get into that into a second. Parv means it can go either way. All right? So it says parv on it. Okay? Here at the top, you see it with a P next to it and parv underneath. The P next to it means that it is kosher for Passover, because Passover has all sorts of special rules. Okay? So if it doesn't have the O with the P, then it's not good for Passover. Not by the most strict rules. Those are rabbinic rules, those are man's rules, those are not God's rules, so we're not going to go into all that. But anyway, it's on your ketchup, it's on your mustard, it's on your bread. Okay? It's on your cereal. Sometimes you'll see a K, a funky looking K. Or you'll see a chai, which looks like an N kind of. These are all different. We've looked over this and it's okay to eat stuff. Okay? If you see this, instead of a P, you see a D, that means dairy. So it can be eaten with a dairy meal, but it cannot be eaten with a meat meal. Okay? So that means some rabbi has looked at the recipe and said, yep, you're good to go. Wow. I asked a question one time about GMOs. Because in some cases, they actually use insect DNA in order to make plants not appetizing to insects. That's one of the things they do. How is that kosher? Because there's no guarantee that the insect that they used, the DNA from the insect that they used, there's no guarantee that that insect is kosher. So if they use an insect DNA that's not kosher, then that product no longer, that corn, that wheat, that whatever, no longer is kosher. So how can the end product be kosher to eat?
Exactly.
And I was like, that is a good question. A rabbi could not answer that question for me, by the way. Still am waiting on that answer. But, so it's just, so those are some things that you know. So I'm sure you've all heard about, the milk and meat thing. Okay? Wait, I need to back up for a second. Salt. Everybody heard it? It's actually sitting right there. Kosher salt. Looks different than table salt, doesn't it? That's because you're not allowed to eat blood. Nowhere. That's why you can't have a Jewish vampire, because you're not allowed to consume blood. Okay? Period. It's also the excuse, or the reason, not excuse, the reason that I get Catholics that Jesus never would have done that, because consuming blood is a no-no. Period. End of story. Period. Dot, as one of my sisters says. Kosher salt is those large flakes because when you put it onto meat, it actually absorbs the blood out. That's what's called koshering.
Preservative, right?
Wow! It's not even preserving. It's literally just drawing the extra blood out. So it draws the blood out without seasoning too much. That's why you can do that, okay? But that's that big flakes. You can't do that same thing with table salt. It'll work, but not the same way, and your meat will be too salty. But that's why it's called kosher salt, okay? It comes from this, okay? So, milk and meat. 3 times in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, the books of Moses, it's sometimes called. In the first 5 books in the Torah, it is mentioned 3 times to, paraphrasing, to not boil a kid in its own mother's milk, okay? Now, this is in reference to a fertility rite of pagans, specifically Baal worshippers, where they literally would milk the nanny goat, and then boil the kid from that nanny goat in its own mother's milk. Okay, it's a fertility rite. Okay, not very nice to boil, because the goat was not dead when they did this. The kid was alive. Get what I'm saying? Not good. It's one of the few groups of people that God said straight out, no. End them all. None of them. Give nobody, not even the women and children. Because they would do things like have mass orgies in order to get pregnant so that they could throw the babies from that festival into the fire of the next one. Like, that's literally why they did it. Hence the wipe them from the planet. Okay? There's not that many in the Old Testament that God said wipe them from the planet. That was one of those few groups, okay? That was one of their fertility rituals, okay? So we're not supposed to boil a kid in its own mother's milk. Great. Don't perform this fertility rite. Jewish theology is such that you have it's commonly referred to as bookends, okay? So I'm going to tell, or basically how you write a paper. Tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them, right? It's basically what a paper is, right? Okay, same thing. It's the same idea, okay? So, in Deuteronomy, if you didn't know, Deuteronomy is a Cliff Notes version to the first 4 books. Okay? Don't want to read the first 4? Just read Deuteronomy. I'm not kidding. That's why it's called that. I can even read the whole nicknames that it has in the Jewish tradition that all have to do with that same exact fact. But anyway, the third and final time that don't boil a kid in his own mother's milk is mentioned is in Deuteronomy. And it happens to be the last verse of the chapter reviewing Kashrut. It's the only place in the entire Old Testament that dietary law and that phrase or that rule are in conjunction. But for whatever reason, this bookend theology, the rabbi said, well, that must mean it's part of dietary law. Hence, you may no longer have a cheeseburger. Because you can't boil a kid in its own mother's milk. That verse is attached to dietary law in Deuteronomy. One place. One place only.
Wait, I'm still confused.
Okay, so throughout the 5 books, in all of that verse, do not boil a kid in its own mother's milk, is mentioned 3 times. Okay. The last and final time that it is mentioned, it is the last verse of the chapter in Deuteronomy that deals with dietary law.
Okay.
So the rabbis went, squeesh! Now it's part of dietary law.
What they got to do with me frying my burger?
No. A cheeseburger. You can't mix milk and meat. You can't mix milk and meat.
I can't have cheeseburger. The dog start barking out.
Oh no, you can have a cheeseburger.
Okay.
In my house, you can have a cheeseburger. So.
But I get what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah. So, not only that, but in practicality, at least in America and in Europe too, there are beef cows and there are dairy cows, and never shall the twain meet. So you will never mix mama cow with baby cow. For one. But two, the point of that verse was not
Me too.
don't have a cheeseburger. It means don't perform this fertility rite. So, and any rabbi will have to admit that it is rabbinical law, man-made law. Rabbis made it, not God.
Okay.
So I don't abide by that part.
Okay.
I'm going to eat me a cheeseburger, and I will love it all day long. So, but a traditional Jew will not. My grandfather and my grandmother got very upset when I tried to put cheese on my spaghetti with meat sauce. Yeah, oh yeah, very upset. I wanted to have a glass of milk with something too, and I don't remember what it was. But again, like my grandfather threatened to throw up. Like, he's like, if you do that, I think I'm going to throw up. Which is funny because once in a while, great while, he would actually get a piece of pepperoni pizza. Swine, milk, and meat. Oops. But you're going to throw up because I want to put cheese on my spaghetti. Dude, seriously? And again, once in a great while, my grandmother would cook my grandfather bacon. But yet, I can't have dairy.
He had to have been really, really good.
But my grandmother never ate it. My grandmother would never eat it. But my grandfather, once in a while, would have a slice of paper. Like I said, it was a once in a great while. Pepperoni pizza or some bacon, but it was not, and it was only bacon. It was not sausage, and it wasn't like sausage on his pizza. And it was, you see what I'm saying? He didn't order a whole pizza. He had a slice.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. But if you go to Israel, the rabbis are so strict about it. They've even put time limits on this stuff. So if you go to Israel, normally you will either get a dairy or a vegetarian meal for breakfast and lunch. And your meat meal will be dinner. Therefore, it doesn't even mix in your stomach because it takes roughly 4 hours for you to digest milk products, or it takes you 6 to 8 to digest meat. Hence, your meat meal is your dinner meal and your breakfasts are your dairy meals. Yeah. Kind of nutty, but that's their thing. Let them, you're not hurting me. Go for it. Now, you're probably going, well, you know, I like me some shrimp and the bacon, right? Bacon wrapped shrimp, yeah, right? Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, so there are verses, 2 specific ones that you usually come up as contrary to this rule. The first one being in Mark. And it's Mark 7:14. See, I even have it written down. Mark 7:14. And this is where Messiah is talking about, it's not what goes into your body that defiles you, it's what comes out. And he's absolutely true. What he's saying is, he was not specifically talking about food per se, but that's included in it. He was just like, okay, whatever you do, your actions and your words are more important than what you're consuming. That's where the evil is, because you're choosing, there's certain things you're choosing to let come out. The second one is Acts, and this is where Peter has a dream where the sheet comes down and all the food's on it and God tells him to kill and eat. Okay, so here's the thing to go with that one. Peter was chastising people for eating or not eating a particular way, and then holding himself up to be better than because one way or the other. Just like those that said that you had to convert to Judaism before you could become a believer in Messiah, they're called Judaizers. Okay, again, that's not how this works. Okay, he said kill and eat, and there were things on it that he should not have eaten per Leviticus 11. The point again was not that God was not saying, I'm revoking Kashrut. What he's saying is, it's not to be a stumbling block. and is not something to be held over somebody else as better than. Okay? Thinking about that, gotta check my bread because I'm starting to smell it. So you're not supposed to be better than. Don't use it to be better than. Like I said, it's not to be a stumbling block. So, for example, when beautiful, just in time too. Just like, so I went to a friend's house, or we went to a family's house, and for New Year's, and they had cooked up, a wonderful dinner. Ribs and collard greens. It was New Year's, so ribs, collard greens, black-eyed peas, cornbread, mac and cheese. You get what I'm going? Okay, so what was in all of that? Pork,
Milk.
all of it,
Eggs.
pork. So they fixed me a plate, and what did I do?
You ate?
What do you think I did?
You ate?
I ate.
And slept good.
Now, no, I didn't sleep real good because I kept going to the bathroom.
Well, yeah, I get it.
But I didn't, but I ate. Now, when it was time to get more, if I wanted more, I did not choose things that had pork in them. My husband's commander had a holiday party at the house. He had, she made gumbo and jambalaya. And I mean, it smelled good. I love me some gumbo and jambalaya. That was when it was hard again that I was kosher. Oh, anyway, so his wife though sees me, and on my plate I've got fruit and crackers and cheese and some rice, just some plain rice, and some, things I could eat. And she's like, and then she went, oh, "You're Jewish." I said, "Yes." She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think I can make it. No, I'm fine. I've got plenty of food here. I have got enough food. I don't need. It's okay." Are you sure? The next year, though, she made me my own chicken gumbo. Yes, she did. But I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for her to do anything else. When something is presented, then I eat. It's not a stumbling block. I'm not requiring. Michael wants bacon. Michael gets bacon.
Question. Isn't that a scripture in the Bible where it was Peter or someone, when he was if you're at someone's house, and they offer you can eat it?
Yep, that's that same. It goes right there with Acts.
You don't want to insult the whole.
Exactly. It's about the fellowship. It's not about. So when we were in Hawaii, I used to dance praise and worship hula, and of course Easter was very busy. We were literally dancing from sunrise to sunset on Easter for different churches and different organizations. Like we even went to the governor's house at Christmas time. We danced sunrise service on the USS Missouri in front of 1,000 people. But anyway, sunrise to sunset, we're busy, right? So the people who were doing the fellowship that day at our normal service, at our regular service, they always did it up, but they really had done it up. They had scones, and they had chorizo burritos, and they had, they did it up. But, okay, scones, chorizo burrito, which is pork, chorizo, and it's Passover. What am I going to do? Well, the rules for Passover have never been rescinded. You will not eat leaven for 7 days. Period. End of story. That's never been rescinded in any way, shape, or form. However, you may eat what you like. Has been, especially with the Gentiles that have been migrated into into the faith at that point. Eat what you like, kind of thing. So I had me a chorizo burrito because leaven is still a no-no during Passover, but I can eat the pork. I needed to eat because I'd been busy and I was hungry and I was going to be busy again, and I needed to eat something, and that was what I had to eat. So you make the choice, right? All food has been made clean, so I ate the pork because that's what I had. But again, it's just like anything else. Like, Pastor is lactose intolerant. So even though he loves cheesecake, we don't make the cheesecake the few times he's been here because he can't eat the cheesecake. He wants to eat the cheesecake, but he's going to pay for it later, you know? So, but it's the same thing. Gluten-free, allergic to, you know, you're not going to have somebody over to your house that's allergic to nuts and serve them peanut butter.
Yeah.
You know, it's that simple. So if somebody asks me, I will tell them. But if they don't ask me and they give, then that's what they give. You know, if I have choices, then I love Allison's pasta salad. Guess what I do? I pick out the pepperonis. I eat the rest of it, but I pick out the pepper. I also pick out the olives too, because I don't like them neither. But you know what? It's not, again, it's about the fellowship, not about, you good? It's about the fellowship, not about the food. And that's where Peter was wrong and he was being chastised in Acts. That's why that is there. Now I get that thrown in my face about why do you? I do it because it's my conviction.
Maybe I'm missing something here, but from the Old Testament to the New Testament and all. So when the New Testament came in and God told Peter to get up, eat, and all, that cancels out the Old Testament now?
No.
It doesn't?
No.
You still are on that strict?
Yes, I still am kosher. Or
Because
I wasn't at one time, but I had become kosher, yes. As I have learned.
So it's kind of like is it kind of used for conviction versus condemnation to do it? You know.
Yeah, there's no condemnation. No.
Yeah. So but that's what Peter was trying to.
Yes. He was being told, dude, what he was doing was he was creating a barrier in the fellowship, in the friendship, in the camaraderie by, well, I'm not going to eat that because
I do right. Yeah.
that creates a barrier. That's the wrong.
Yeah.
Not the not eating it part or the eating it part. That's not the right or wrong part. The wrong part is the whole point of that was that he was letting that come between him and preaching the good news. And that's why he was smacked. Because that was a smackdown.
And okay, then within that same area there, doesn't it also say that if you eat something that may offend that person, then don't eat it, but maybe eat it at another time away from, because you don't want that person to sin or cause it.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Again, you're back to that stumbling block in the fellowship.
Yeah, stumbling block.
Exactly. That is the problem.
So then now you can still eat what you like, foods that you like that you're restricted to, but if you're amongst those that are more culture or strict, you don't eat it. But in your own private time,
Exactly.
you can eat. Okay,
Absolutely.
gotcha now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't. And I go, and I follow a lot, like I still light candles on most Friday nights. I still speak Hebrew. I still, the Sabbath is Friday night, Saturday. I still celebrate the feasts, all of those things, because those are God's ordinances. Those are things that God asked us to do as believers, regardless of our heritage. He's asked us all, because this is the Bible. Not one part of it, not 1/3 of it, all of it. Okay? This is the Bible. And he has asked, if you believe in me and follow my commandments, okay, then you will be blessed. Well, let's follow the commandments. Let's follow the instructions. And the instructions are, you don't get to eat some pig. Okay? Now, again, there's no condemnation because we have been freed from that. But that doesn't mean I'm still not going to try to follow the rules. Which is why I do it. But like I said, I may tease people, but I'm not going to. There's no condemnation. You want to go have you a bacon cheeseburger? God bless. I'm gonna pick my bacon off.
Yeah.
But you know,
But the funny part is we're not eating beef. But I just feel like, don't tell me I can't eat the bacon burger.
exactly. It's not that you can't. It's just that it's choices that you make.
Mm-hmm.
It's and that's what it all comes down to. That's what Messiah even comes down to. That's the whole point, is where he's asking us to make a choice for him, doing the things he asks of us. Whether it be not eating the bacon wrapped shrimp smothered in butter, which is dairy, by the way, so that's a 3-time no-no. Or, you know, it's whatever it is. But again, if I go to somebody's house and they don't, like I know people who are vegan. Well, guess what's at their house? No meat. I'm not going to bring a burger into their house, or I'm not going to say, where's the beef? You know, I'm just not going to, because that creates a block. Okay, that's the problem. That's always the problem. And if you look at that, it comes down to the two greatest commandments: love God and love your neighbor. That's what it comes down to. And if anything blocks those, that's the problem. In any of the rules, all 614 of them. That's how many are in the Old Testament. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was just going to say, a few weeks ago, a weekend ago, we were with some dear friends that are vegan. So we went to a vegan restaurant. I am not vegan. And so the first one, you know, trying to find something on the menu that I can eat, but still do what I want to do, but still not offend them, which was kind of hard. And then the next time we went to another vegan restaurant, which was much better. And so find something on there. So I found, what was it, chicken. I ordered that, and because it had, for those who who were not vegans, I'm thinking I'm gonna get some chicken. I get a little piece of chicken. I get a little piece of chicken. Then I realized, I need to order a side dish to go with this chicken, and then because this is all I thought I was gonna get a side dish too, but found out the side dishes were
extra. Yeah.
But you know,
gotta make our money.
But for them, you know, they were passed around the different things that they ate. And everything, to taste them and everything. Some of them were pretty good, but still, one person asked me, she said, "Would you do it again?" I said, "I don't think so, not soon."
And I did 40 days that's right when I got to.
Yeah.
So at one point though, I felt like it was kind of in vain. I was angry about it. Like, I'm ready for my meal, and you made me think about when we had our new members class, we had the pasta salad. I went out of my way, did not eat the chicken, made sure I didn't eat the meat, and I got in the car, I was driving home, and I was like, did I eat that piece of pepperoni that was on the pasta salad? Because it just was like,
you just ate
second
it.
nature, like it was there. Yes. And I couldn't remember, but I just don't see me not I don't see me sliding it out the way. Yeah. But it was like, if you do that, it becomes deliberate.
It becomes a deliberate thing. Like I said, if they want it, I will cook it. Don't get me wrong, I'll cook it. I just won't consume it. Like for Father's Day or for his birthday, I made shrimp and grits. In one pot was for him, and in the other I made a chicken topping instead of the shrimp. I made the chicken. Still had the grits. But now I had cheese in there to go with that meat, you know, because I don't play that game. But I had 2 pots. But that was also for his birthday, so I made for him, or for his whatever. The office has asked me to make, for his office parties, hey, I need you to make me a pork butt. which by the way is shoulder, not butt.
Okay.
It's called butt, but it ain't butt.
Boston butt.
It's shoulder. I made it. I didn't eat it, but I made it. Which, also reminds me, there are kosher parts of the animal. The front half, not the back half.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Stomach up. Can't have stomach down.
Makes sense.
That's the dirty end, ain't it?
Is that in any animal or just?
That's any animal.
So it means the heart too?
You can eat the heart
The heart is blood.
once it's drained.
Oh.
That's why you kosher it. You coat it in kosher salt and draw out all the blood. Oh yeah, they eat heart, tongue. I do not eat any organs beyond chicken skin. That is the only organ I will eat. You give me anything else and I'm going to pass. Thank you. Enjoy. Go on with your bad self, but I ain't eating that. But so anyway, so if you're interested, this version is the complete Jewish Bible, and it is through Revelation. But where the nice thing about this though is that a lot of it there are a lot of articles in this one, and especially for the Old Testament, if he couldn't translate it from Hebrew clearly, he left it in Hebrew. So there's lots of it's readable. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of Hebrew in this version. That's names are still in Hebrew, so it's not Matthew, it's Matthew. That kind of thing. It's Yochanan, not John, because J's do not exist in Hebrew. There's no J's in Hebrew.
And Yeshua and Yahweh.
No Yahweh.
No Yahweh.
No Yahweh. But Yeshua, yes.
So what's the other one? What is
Adonai.
Yeah.
Adonai or Adonai Zabaoth or no J's and no Yahweh. Because that's based on what they did is took what's called the tetragrammaton, those 4 letters, Yud Veh Had Veh, Y8. Okay. And they took the letters because Hebrew in the Bible is not written with vowels. There's no vowels. Now try figuring it out.
Yeah.
No, there's indications of, and when you learn how to read it, then you learn. But the vowels, so Adonai stands in place for any place you would see that word. And what the translators did is take the vowels from Adonai and stuck it into the tetragrammaton to get Yahweh, which then is Jehovah. So you won't see Jehovah either.
Okay.
So it's not Jehovah Jireh, it's Adonai Yireh.
Where do I get that?
This? You can get it online.
So I have.
You can actually go to Bible Hub or Bible Gateway and you can get the translation there too, for free.
Because my 13-year-old, when the pandemic started, we decided we should probably know God.
I got some
Praise
stuff
the
upstairs,
Lord.
I'll bring it down.
Listen, and I have, so one of the things that she has learned to recite was Jehovah Jireh, all the Jehovah's and the meanings and what they mean. So she recites
The names of God.
The names of God. This is a nightly thing that we have our ritual things we do every night for devotion, and then she has her teen devotions. I have my mommy devotion, and we read them together and discuss them. And I would love. She's been doing that for 2 years though. So this is going to be.
If I brought it down, I'd create a mess. So I've got a bunch of stuff upstairs. If you want to go upstairs with me, and I'll show you, and you're welcome. You're all welcome to, but it will require stairs. But I got a bunch of stuff upstairs that. Yes, but anywhere you see Jehovah, a Jewish person would never say that. It's always Adonai. You'll never hear the Tetragrammaton.
So
ever.
Mr. Greg from Harvest Thrift Store, y'all familiar with it? Harvest, they work with Hosanna Home in his place. So we did devotion every morning before we clocked in at 8:30, and we did devotion from 8:30 to 9 every morning, and we use what's the Jewish Bible? What's it? The
Torah.
The Torah.
That's only there's 5 books, but yeah.
So that's what he read out of.
Yeah. So here's a Gee Whiz for you, or a mind blow. She knows because she's come. Oh, the other thing about this is it's in the Jewish order, not the Christian order.
Okay.
So this ends with Chronicles, not Malachi.
Okay.
He's made something now.
Appreciate it.
All right.
What is it?
Are those Madeleines?
I don't know what that is. It's a lady finger.
Listen, what's the lady finger?
All right. So this is Matthew through Revelation, right?
Tastes okay.
It's good. Thank you.
Try it out.
Very good.
So this is Matthew through Revelation.
Oh, wow.
Okay. This is Matthew through Revelation. That's Genesis through Chronicles.
Wow.
So this is the Old Testament. That's the New Testament.
Wow.
Every time Scripture is mentioned in the New Testament, it's talking about that. Because none of this existed yet.
Yeah, because that's new, right? Yeah. And that's
None of this existed. So every time Paul talks about according to Scripture, or when Messiah says according to Scripture, and that is just straight up common sense, look at the dates. But people don't believe me. But it is. So, and one of the things on our thing on Thursday, our little live cast, is that we were looking at Deuteronomy 28, Micah 6, and Romans 11. Okay? And talking about being grafted in and that kind of that topic and what it, stating the case. Okay? So here's the thing. You will never bring a Jew to jealousy or provoke them by coming at them with a Christian message. Because 9 times out of 10, the Christian messages you have has no Jewish to it. Unfortunately. So a Jew is not going to understand it. You've got to get back to the Judaism part. Which is why I teach what I teach. Because you will never speak to a Jew from a Gentile point of view. They're just not going to listen. You've got to speak to them from where they understand. And you got to understand, and if you understand all this other stuff, then you understand your own better. The other favorite one I get is Jesus Christ was a Christian.
It wasn't.
Okay.
You think I'm kidding?
It was. It was says that.
That's
I'm like, dude,
just a
no,
yeah. That's just a plain no.
no.
I know I've had some
Oh yeah,
Jews.
oh yeah.
Jews don't believe in Jesus. I'm like,
No, they don't. Messianics do. Jews do not.
okay.
He was a teacher.
Yeah.
He was a rabbi.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
He's not the Messiah. Nope.
What's the difference?
And I've had guys,
What's the difference with what?
You said
Messianic
Jewish
versus
Jew
Jew.
and Messianic Jew.
Messianic Jew believes in Messiah.
So they're
Messianic.
Christian.
Messiah.
No.
So why? What's the difference between Messianic Jewish
There's
and
all
Christian?
three of those. Yeah.
Messianic Jew or Messianic Gentile. So there, what you're talking about more is dogma. What they call dogma
Okay, with that.
is how you believe it, how you do it. Okay? So, in Hebrew, the other thing is his name isn't Jesus Christ like John Doe or John Smith.
What is it?
It's Jesus the Christ.
In Jewish?
So yeah.
No, in English.
Yeah.
In English, it should be correctly Jesus the Christ. Because Christ is a job title, not a last name. His name then would have been Ben Joseph. His name would have been, if you wanted to go that way, his name would have been Jesus, son of Joseph. That would be his full name.
Yeah.
In Hebrew, Yeshua HaMashiach. Okay? Which means Jesus the Messiah. and it's Yeshua because Yeshua means salvation. Jesus does not. Remember, there's no J in Hebrew.
Okay.
So his name could not be Jesus. Okay? So Jesus cannot mean salvation. It's a translation that we've been attached to, but Yeshua means salvation.
Okay. Oh, I get it now. Okay.
Isaiah's name is not Isaiah, it's Yesayahu.
Yes, a Yahoo.
Yesayahu. And as a matter of fact, Jesus' nickname as a kid was probably Josh, not anything else, because it's closer to that. Okay, so Ha, in this case with the capital H, references the breath of life.
I'll just finish it. Everything that has
Rosh
Bread.
Hashanah, Hashem. It means the. It's translated as a the, but sometimes it's a capital T and sometimes it's a lower T. If this is a lower H, a small h, it's a lower T. Okay? If it's a capital H, it's a capital T. Okay? As in, Hashem means the name. Okay? That's why it's Hashem. Okay? But it does mean the. Okay? So, and Mashiach means Messiah. Translated directly means Messiah. Okay? So, this translates into Jesus the Messiah.
Then what name do you have? What name do they have for God?
Adonai.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I was about to re-ask that again. You ain't by yourself. I was about
Adonai, Elohim, El, Adonai Zabaoth, Lord of Hosts, Adonai Yireh.
So then in our Bible, I'll put it that way, in the English Bible.
In the Christian in the Protestant English Bible, go ahead.
Where when he talks to Moses, and Moses asks him, "Who should I say sent me?" He said, "The I am." Now, how would you say that then?
And you was ready when she was ready for it. So, and then to Mr. Greg, that's who was our, why are you looking that up? That was our manager of the thrift store. So, he taught us that Yeshua was, with everything that has breath, will call on the name of the Lord. And he said that they would, and it literally meant everything that had breath. He said that they wouldn't just say Yeshua, that if they couldn't speak or something, that they would say it was like meant to kind of be like a still small whisper, or is that right? So yeah.
It goes back to Abraham and Sarah. So their names were Avram and Sarai. Okay? When God gave his promise, made his covenant with them, they became Avraham and Sarah, the breath of life.
That's pretty. What is this heavy for me?
Like, this really gets me going because I feel like our desire to know more. Like,
do you see now why you have to understand the Jewishness behind it?
Yeah.
Get the real story. You have to
read it.
I need my phone to look that up to be faster. Or maybe Michael knows. Michael!
He knows everything. He's the walking Bible.
Here. When Moses and God are talking and Moses says, I am. Or Moses asks what to call him and God says, I am. That's Exodus what? Or is that Genesis?
Well, it's got to be Exodus. It's going to be... Oh, no, yeah, so it's going to be Exodus.
But it's going to be at the beginning because that's...
at the burning bush.
So maybe somewhere around 5 or 10, somewhere in there, because it's before he's going back into Egypt, right? So.
Well, it isn't just before.
That's the
You should hear them in Bible study. It's like, so this is what I want to do all day.
Okay, here. Try this one. Maybe this will answer your question. So in 3:13, Moshe said to God, look, when I appear before the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your ancestors has sent me. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Is that what you're after, Martha?
Actually, at the burning bush.
You want to go further back? Okay.
Because when he's going to send him, and Moses asked
Okay.
him,
Okay. Yep. I got you. Okay. That's just further up in 3. All right. So I'll just start at 1, just to make it easy. Now Moshe was tending the sheep of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. Leading the flock to the far side of the desert, he came to the mountain of God, to Horeb. The angel of Adonai, see how the words are changed, appeared to him in a fire blazing from the middle of the bush. He looked and saw that although the bush was flaming with fire, yet the bush was not being burned up. Moshe said, I'm going to go over and see this amazing sight and find out why the bush isn't being burned up. When Adonai saw that he had gone over, God called to him from the middle of the bush. Now notice, you have Adonai and God. Okay. Moshe, he answered, here I am. He said, don't come any closer. Take your sandals off your feet because the place where you are standing is holy. I am the God of your father, he continued, the God of Abraham, the God of Yitzhak, and the God of Yaakov. Moshe covered his face because he was afraid to look at God. Adonai said, I have seen how my people are being oppressed in Egypt, and heard their cry for their release. And that keeps going. Yes, the cry. Yeah. Moses goes, who am I should go to Pharaoh and lead the people out of Egypt? I will surely be with you. Your sign that I'll be sent with you. You will worship God on this mountain. Yep, so I was in the right spot. Moses said to God, when I appear before the people of Israel and say to them, the God of your ancestors has sent me, what is his name? What am I to tell him? Tell them. God said, Ayeh, Asher, Ayeh. I am, will be what I am, or will be. That's how it's actually translated.
Say that again. I am.
It's I am.
I am.
It can be translated as I am, or I will be what I am. That's what it is. There's not a clear definition, translation. It's all of that. Just like love has in Hebrew and in Greek has actually like 7 and 9 different words. Okay? It's not just one. We have 1. They have 7, depending on what you're talking about.
Wow.
Okay, he keeps going. Here is what, and added, here's what to say to the people of Israel. Ayeh, I am or I will be, has sent me to you. God said further to Moshe, say this to the people. Yud, He, Vav, He. And then here it has Adonai, written in all capital letters. Okay? The God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob has sent me. Okay? It is I am, and then the tetragrammaton, the 4 letters. Tetra meaning 4. Okay? So anytime you see in your Bible, you'll notice that Lord appears in 2 different ways. With a capital L, lowercase, and then all capitals, but everything's slightly smaller. When it's all capitals, it's referencing the tetragrammaton. Okay? But Jewish tradition does not allow the writing of or the speaking of the most holy of names. So they replaced it with a word so that you don't unintentionally cause offense. Which is why you will see God written with a dash or Lord written with a dash, because they don't want, Jewish tradition is, and I have another one for you, Basador. But if you have God's name written on something, you can't just throw it away. So prayer books, Bibles, all of this stuff, when a child can no longer read and make it out, that's the bar. If a child cannot read the words on the page, it's too old and needs to be getting rid of, right? It has to be buried like a body. Like if you go to a Jewish cemetery, there will be plots that have nothing but books in them.
I wish.
So that's why they put the dash, because then it's not God's name and you can throw it away.
You serious?
I'm dead serious.
No.
Ha burying, dead serious. Ha!
No, the reason I'm saying because I'm from Ohio, and we have some Bibles that are old, and that was a question we came up with.
What do you do with them?
Yeah. You know, because we
Jewish tradition is they have to be buried like a body.
So would we, as a Christian, give these to the Jewish synagogue? And
They
let
wouldn't
them
take
burn?
them. They wouldn't take them.
Then how
You do it. You
Do
take
we
a
have to
plot in whatever cemetery and bury them.
Oh, we don't have to go to the Jewish cemetery.
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying, if you go to a Jewish cemetery, there will be plots that have nothing but books in them because of the tradition. Or the notice also, I have not put this on the floor.
No.
I always put it back up on the table. I will never put it on the floor
And you
because
know,
that's a no-no.
I went to a church one time.
That-
years ago.
That's just, well, if it fell, then actually you're supposed to pick it up and kiss it.
No.
Again, this is traditional. That's all the traditional part. But anyway, thank you for joining us. We're gonna go eat bread. Sorry you're not here.
Sometimes it's, I notice
You know,